Welcome everybody to Dutchy Tech Discussion Podcast for 5th of February 2022, where we have an opinionated discussion about technology. Welcome. If you probably hear that in the background, that is rain. Yes, we have rain in Palmerston North at the moment. And it's been very, very hot, like 30-degree weathers. And now the weather's flipping on the other side, probably still a bit too hot, but now rain. So we might end up with surface flooding if we're not too careful. So we've got a good lineup for you on the show today, but I need to remind you that to become a patron, a member, to support us, so every dollar, every cent counts. Now you'll get early access for about a week, I think about a week or two, for on-demand replay of this episode. And once if you missed a live stream, a Patreon, gets premium access to that. Also, I'm trying to get better at streaming. Now, sometimes I have had delays, when I do the recording part of it, like I actually record and live stream at the same time, I have a bit of a space. So I'm trying to shorten that one up. So that's something I'm trying to improve on, trying to get the timing right So becoming a Patreon, you get early access to that video. Will be hosted on YouTube for a limited time before made public to everybody. Now, I have been working on Spotify, so I haven't uploaded the last episode yet onto Spotify yet, but it will be coming if you are a Spotify user. And I am also looking at other podcasting platforms. Need a bit of drink of water there. But also, being a patron, you get, I'm still working this one out. I want to have a Q&A session on the show. So, one step at a time. So let's talk about today's headlines. Now, it's going to be a very short show today. I've been finding it very, very hard to find topics that I want to add my opinion to. Last show I had, I'm trying to constantly improve the show, and let us know if you are actually watching this on YouTube on demand. Let us know in the comments what you think. How can I improve the show, the podcasts? And oops, I forgot to turn on that. There we go. And yes, so today's headlines topics is Microsoft Flight Simulator adds Australia. Ooh, interesting. And Sony is buying Bungie. What's that? I don't know. We'll find out later. And Windows 11 SSD slowdowns may finally be fixed in February, this month. I don't know what's going on there, but those are our topics today. And before we begin, I like to do the time-honored tradition to pay respect to the people who have passed away. Now, I have kept the tally, and I think from last episodes, I think we went up about 200,000 people. About 200,000 people have passed away. So my current statistics is 5,744,397 people have passed away from COVID. Here in New Zealand, we have something called a vaccine pass. The country has recently put into red traffic lights. There's a traffic light system, green, orange, and red. It's a very weird, complicated system. They instead of going eliminating it now, the government gave up really. But make sure you get your double vaccination. And I think I just heard on the radio today that they used to be 4 months, but now 3 months since you got your second shot, you can get booster shots. And the media campaign is that the booster shot is to help boost your system against the new Omicron COVID variants. So the amount of people who have died because of this is 5,744,397 people. And it's probably gone up while I'm still talking to you guys, or may have gone up significantly since the in the next episode when we get around to it. So, as we normally do, I'll mute the mic for a moment and let's pay respect to those people who've died. 5,744,397. Thank you for taking a moment of silence to honor the people who have died of this COVID-19, you could say, epidemic. And it's got us very concerned that with all these new strains, but this probably makes it worse than swine flu, I think. The swine flu epidemic. Not 100% sure, but it is quite sad that quite a lot of people are dying from this. I guess there's nothing we can really do but just follow our health directives by being vaccinated, wear masks, and I've just been told that there's some new policies in New Zealand about we have to wear different types of masks, or what masks are acceptable to support the Omicron variant. So, to be honest, I'm getting sick and tired of it. I just want everything to go back to normal, and I think a lot of us feel that, like going to movies like I did last Saturday. It's just, But on a positive note, we're going to be talking about our headline topic. Microsoft Flight Simulator adds Australia. There's a new update coming out for 1.22.2.0 update. Excuse me. So, Microsoft is promising to let people soar over the renowned Great Barrier Reef, visit the vast regions of Western Australia, and the marvel at the natural beauty of Mount Wellington. I don't know where Mount Wellington is in Australia. I think we actually have one in New Zealand. Was it Mount Auckland, Mount Wellington, or Mount Victoria? I'm not really sure. It has about 94 handcrafted points of interest, 4 handcrafted airports to visit, 11 photogrammetry cities to explore. What the hell is photogrammetry? Like telemetry? That's a word I never seen before. The handcrafted airports are Long Beach, Mount Beauty Airport. Where the hell's that? And I have to, Australians, please forgive me for pronouncing these names. I think it's Parabudo, and then and Shell Harbour Airport. These were created by Orbx Simulation Systems, who are based in Melbourne, Australia. Okay. Does that mean that Microsoft has subbed out the map creation to another company? Or is this something... I didn't really read too much into the art, do back research into the article on this. And bush trips includes Tasmania, southeastern Australia, sea to desert, Great Barrier Reef, obviously, yeah, and northwestern Kimberley coast. Okay, some names that I never heard of. Because Australia's got some weird names like Wollongong, Kakadu, Kalgoorlie. I don't know. Landing challenges are for Brisbane, Sharmore. Well, I already talked about that one. Mount Hotham and Katoomba, and Malbung, Malbulang, Mabulag. As I said, I apologise for those Australians who are listening for butchering these names. Discovery flights, you enjoy flying over the Gold Coast. Sydney, Perth, Darwin, Melbourne. Some of these names are quite familiar to me, but this one I have never heard of. It's called Ulukata Tajuta National Park. It's spelled It's spelled ULURU, and then it's got a hyphen, KATA, and then capital T and JUTA. So the Australian map is for free for people who own the game. Now, so there's some of the facts that I pulled out of an article. So 4 handcrafted airports to visit. Now, I'm guessing it's been a very, very, very long time since I played a flight simulator game, personally. I think my favorite version was, I think it was Flight Simulator 2002. I really, really enjoyed that. I think it's because I think it actually had more airplane features, like opening doors, opening doors, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think there are some mods that you can add, like airline, like run your own airline. I think it's for Flight Simulator X, like 10, where you can run your own virtual airline. There's mods and stuff like that. But I got to say that Flight Simulator X was just total poop, total rubbish. And then I think it was Flight Simulator 2004, Century of Flight. But I think it's because I like 2002, is because I think it had the Cessna. Like, the biggest issue is with, I've been playing flight simulators for quite a long, that was probably the last, 20 years, I think. Probably 15 to 20 years. That's going quite a bit. I think the first flights. Yes. I think the first flight simulator I ever played was Flight Simulator 1998, which was I think it was Marge's. It always defaults to Marge's field, but then again, you only had a limited amount of aeroplanes, which really annoyed. Like I think it annoyed a lot of people, where you're only limited to a certain amount of aeroplanes, and I think I liked 2002. Unfortunately, I think I went to my local's game shop and I said, is it possible to get the Pro version? Because I think the Pro version had a feature allow me to create my own, I don't know, scenarios or instructor mode or something like that. Unfortunately, I was not able to source that at my local game shop. But I think it's because I like the Cessna aircrafts. In the beginning, and I think it's the airplanes. I think the features of all these games, the realism sort of goes out the window. Like, I think when Flight Simulator 1998, every time I take off, I was able to take off the runway. But then all of a sudden, it's like, why am I not taking off the runway? Because apparently I had to set the trim to a certain degree to actually even get off the airplane, like even those Boeings. And it got a little bit too complicated. And but there's been a lot of flight simulators, and I don't think my Alienware laptop can handle this new thing. And not to mention, I'm running like Crash Bandicoots, like taking up like 25 gig, I think it was about, because it's a terabyte drive. So I think Crash Bandicoot and Spyro probably took up about 100 gig. Then Grand Theft Auto 5 and 4, so that takes about, well, Grand Theft Auto 5 takes about 65 probably gigabytes of the space. But I'm guessing it's each iteration, like I have noticed with flight simulators, that the sceneries get more better and better. Now, like with the handcrafted airports that they set in this version, is that it must be actually modelled after real airports. Otherwise, they'll use sort of cookie cutter type like no buildings, just like maybe the layouts, the texture layouts, maybe the texture layouts have a auto-generated texture layouts of what the airport should look like, or how many runways and what runway numbers and all that sort of data. So it's, Jesus, I need more water. Sorry, folks, I don't like drinking in front of you guys and ladies. So what I was saying is that, it's just, I don't think I have the room and the graphics capacity to handle, like on extreme settings. I think only my graphics card is, I think, maybe 2 gigabyte. I don't want to actually go and actually look. I keep saying that in the past, when I start doing things in the background, I find that my frames drop, and that's not really good. I don't like doing that. So, yes, so this update is out. I think it's really out now, and it's free. Now, for anyone who owns the game, and I do have something to add to this. Now, I don't know if actually Microsoft, it's actually Microsoft Studio, because sometimes Microsoft owns things like sometimes they put their name onto things, like Zoo Tycoon and stuff like that. I think it was Zoo Tycoon and probably Age of Empires. No, I think I need to probably put that in the next about the new Age of Empires. I don't think I want to buy it, or I don't know if I want to buy it. But that's a story for another day. But I've got to stay on topic here with the flight simulator. So I'm not really sure if my laptop can handle it, and actually the space, because I noticed that I think Flight Simulator X came out in 2 DVDs. was a one DVD, and then a Flight Simulator 2002 came out on 2 CDs. And then I think Flight of a Century, which is 2004, came out on 4 CDs. So that was like, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of CDs to go through. And then I think they switched to 1 or 2 DVDs for Flight Simulator X. And it sort of stopped. The developments of Flight Simulator, because I have Flight Simulator 10 and I never played it in ages. I'm sort of more interested in the truck simulators. But back to the point of the updates, I'm also a bit of a train simulator fan. And Dovetail Games, I think, those are the developers who actually have Train Simulator 20, whatever bloody version they use. And they do Train Sim Worlds, or was it Train World Sim or something like that? Which was a very interesting concept. And then they shaft me. And they shaft me really good. Because what they did with Train Simulator, and this is kind of relating to any game sort of thing, like with SCS Software, which I'm a big fan of their work with their truck simulators for Euro in America, is like that you buy skin packs, you can buy DLC add-ons and stuff. That's sort of okay, and I think their pricing is reasonable. But with Dovetail Games, they are a bunch of rip-off artists. Now, this is just my opinion, because you'd be spending like hundreds of dollars on their contents, like their add-ons and stuff, and they expect me to buy, like what they've done with the train simulator is each year they keep renaming the game. Like you got in your Steam library, but they keep renaming the game. And then people who have not bought it, they actually try and sell it. I can't remember. Was it like 2016 Train Simulator something? Now it's like Train Simulator 22, and it's the same version, or they just keep renaming it every year just to hook people into buying. And then their DLCs are like $20 to $40, like even $50 for a deal. Like I'm not going to look it up, but right in the moment. But their DLC is like $20 for like a locomotive pack or a route. And if that all adds up, all that content is like astronomical. But then Train Sim Worlds came along. Now, I like the concept of it, where you'll be able to, like the traditional train simulator, it's more like stuck in the cab. Where with Train Sim Worlds, you actually you explore the world in a more thing. So basically, you actually get out of the cab and actually do the actions of flicking the switches. I think there's probably a little trick to it as well, where you don't have to hop out. You can do yard shunting, and you can fill up your own locomotive, like get a nozzle and fill it up with diesel, which was an interesting concept. And I thought they did for a little while, and I don't know if they were using Unity or Unreal, because Unity, I noticed that with it was a big uproar with Bus Simulator. I can't remember what version it was. They used Unity, and it was operating like a pig. It was just so slow and sluggish. And then they learnt their lesson, and then they went to Unreal Engine, which is sometimes, for certain things, Unreal has a bigger engine, like a better supportive engine for certain things, where Unity is just sometimes a pile of crap for things. But then unlike Train Simulator, they actually create a new Steam identity, and it's like, and then sort of somewhat ditched me behind with no updates And then if you want newer content, and they say, oh, we'll convert your content over, or some of the, if you have this in your Steam library, we'll give you a discount. But they want me to buy another version, which was just totally ridiculous. And sometimes I just like to have the free updates. But whether I'm going to play Flight Simulator or not, I think my curiosity peaked. If it has New Zealand in it, I might be inclined. Like, I like flying over New Zealand. Or I'll see if I can find my CD for, unfortunately, my laptops don't come with CDs or DVD drives anymore. I'll see if I can find the CD for Flight Simulator 2002. And give it a crack on, have another crack at that one. Or I can see if I can find a version on Steam, I think. I don't know if they got them on Steam or anything like that. Oh, I'm sure it's probably something that I can probably manage. But yeah, so that is, it's good to see that they're expanding. And I think this is like the same thing with, I think it's Flight Simulator is like Windows 10. They'll just keep constantly updating and not releasing a new version. Or Windows 11. They said Windows 10 was going to be the last one. But, so there will be, it'd be interesting to see. I think I need to look into this further. But that's just my opinion on this thing. But we're going to press on because I've got a small amount of time and I need to be somewhere else after the show because, hey, I've got to have a life. I can't be stuck behind a computer all day. And the next story topic we want to talk about is... Okay, the next story topic we want to talk about is Sony. Is buying Bungie. Who and what is Bungie? Now, unfortunately, the article that I was reading earlier says Bungie is a gaming studio. Interesting. So I read more, and they said they created the games. They created games Destiny and Halo. Okay. I'm not a big fan of any of those games. And I think this is going to be really interesting because Halo's actually Microsoft's intellectual property. I actually played Halo on Xbox. I actually played Halo once on Xbox, and I got bored of it. It might work for some. I don't know. It's hard to say. But the company announced their plans to acquire Bungie for a total of $3.6 billion. Now, Microsoft was trying to buy the one-time PlayStation figurehead Crash Bandicoot and the rest of Activision Blizzard's, or was it Blizzard's? I think it was in a deal that would rewrite game history. And now Sony is trying to strike back with. So, over the last year or two, and I don't know, is it a COVID thing? Because apparently the real gamers out there, if you're a real gamer, like Destiny has a huge audience on the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Halo, I think was designed for Xbox. I don't think I actually. It'd be interesting to see if I can get it on PC because I don't. Yeah, well, I think it was just only an Xbox game, but it seems that everybody of lately is buying things up because Microsoft was like trying to buy. Like Microsoft owns Minecraft. They bought Minecraft. I don't know how many years ago was that. It was quite some time ago that Microsoft bought Minecraft. So they own Minecraft now, or the rights and things like that. But it seems of lately, in the last few years, a lot of companies are buying things up. Like they're buying up cloud businesses, social media businesses. Like when Facebook started, where they are now, they own Instagram, and I think WhatsApp. I'm not 100% sure. WhatsApp, and I don't know if WhatsApp is actually their own product or they bought it, but it seems that a lot of companies are buying other people's businesses. It's either, and to try and offer their better offering for their customers. So now, because if I read this right, Crash Bandicoots, oh, don't get me started on that. Because actually I think Activision, Bob's for Toys and Activision own the rights of Crash, but I thought it was Naughty Dog. Because Naughty Dog is the one that owns Insomniac Games. So Insomniac Games was for Spyro, I think, and then Naughty Dog was for Crash Bandicoot. Now, there is a new Crash Bandicoot game out there, which is from Toys from Bob's and things like that, where they try to port the game, the original 3 trilogies, into in a new, cleaner, modern version, which is chogging up so much of my disk space on my laptop. It's not funny. And I found that Crash Bandicoot was quite jerky with loading speeds. Where Spyro was not too bad because Spyro had a nice transition. It had a nice transition about it, but the Crash Bandicoot port sucked because it just took playing it compared to the old PlayStation, especially Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. I was able to get into the levels much quicker, and if I want to restart a level, don't get me started on it, especially the motor coat one. Oh, the horrendous loading times where the original PlayStation, was this quick and instant. Yeah, that was a very, very bad port. There must be some stupid code. There must be something that they were doing wrong. Some stupid novice programmer who didn't. Maybe they're trying to reload the whole scene. I don't know how. Because I know that Crash Bandicoot did hack the PlayStation. And there's a number of games that I have actually seen some video documentaries on YouTube about how they hacked CD-ROMs. And I think it was one, like Abe's Odyssey, I think it was one to get around. Each game has a technical limitation. But yes, Sony buying Halo. Now, that's probably a little bit because Halo is actually owned by Microsoft. Or they own the IP of it. And they actually, obviously Bungie is the developer studio who develops Halo. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. But $3.6 billion. Yeesh. I wish I had $3.6 billion. Anyway, but that'll be very. I might have to look up a bit more on this, but that's quite pretty interesting. All right, let's talk to the last topic for today's episode. As Windows 11 SSD slowdown may finally be fixed in February, as in this month. Apparently, there was a pesky SSD bug in Windows 11 that may be fixed according to certain reports or articles wherever you find this. Late last year, it was discovered that Windows 11 may have been the cause of mysterious SSD slowdowns. Specifically, slower write speeds for certain NVMe SSD drives. I'm not quite up on, I'll be honest, and here's my opinion on this, I'm not quite up on the terminologies in terms of SSDs. It's a little bit of a headspace that I haven't really got my head around. Whether this patch actually ever solve every SSD problem is not really clear. So the patch you want to be looking for is KB 5008 8.353. So you'll probably be seeing it. What's today? It's Saturday. So it says an optional update for 8th of Feb. So patch Tuesday. I think it's patch Tuesday. Was it update Wednesday or update Thursday? So it's patch Tuesday. So Tuesday. So a few days after this, if you got Windows 11, this might work. Now this brings me back to a point. An opinion of mine is that it seems that Microsoft, because Microsoft has been in the last I think the last 5 or 10 years, I think it's probably when Vista came out. Windows ME and Vista came out. Those were the horrors. Because Windows ME was a hybrid of Windows 2000 and... Yes, Windows ME was a hybrid of Windows 98 and Windows NT, or Windows 2000. I don't think ME was not too bad. It actually introduced some really interesting features like System Restore, which was really great. And then XP came along. XP blew, the product labeling was clear. Home Edition, Pro Edition. So that's actually getting, like, Microsoft offering was the NT was for business, and the 9Xs, like Windows 3.1 and 95, 98. I'm not sure about 3.1, or 3.11. Geez, that rain's getting a bit louder outside. They were more like for the home user, because Bill Gates proclaimed he wants a computer or PC on everyone's desk. And that is true, because I bet his vision was going even further with now you got a PC in your pocket, like as in your smartphones. In terms of your smartphones. So, but it brings me back to the points of I've read somewhere or heard somewhere that Microsoft back in the day, because 95 was a software marvel leap, and in order to achieve that, I think even in the early days, like for computers to work, think of it, you got multiple, like saying Apple, because trying to get Apple to work, the Mac OS to work on a Windows PC, or vice versa. That is one of the classic examples where the hardware was specifically designed. The hardware was specifically designed for Apple products, and where you started going into putting Windows or vice versa, or the operating system vice versa, the Mac OS was specifically designed to written for that particular hardware. And so Microsoft went down the other approach, was actually trying to support as much different types of PCs and hardware as possible. And then they had a hardware lab where they were able to have rows of different types of computers, motherboards, CPUs, and then so on and forth. So they can test it over a broad thing. Now, I have a funny feeling that Microsoft has lost their way in terms of quality assuring. Now, I hope I'm not getting myself into trouble here, because Microsoft, with their Windows 8, I think it's Windows 10 and 11, they have made some major mistakes, and they want Windows as a software as a service. So, and it obviously failed epically, because I just recently that some users who have Windows 10 are now getting prompts for Windows 11 as a Windows update. That is scaring the hell out of me. Some businesses say, Patrick, I don't want Windows 11 just yet. It's going to interfere with might interfere with my programs. Hence why we're having SSD problems, because most laptops with their boot drives have SSDs. So imagine you trying to write your profile, Windows profile, while you're logging off the network. Yeah, or writing stuff to, I don't know, your My Documents that get cached or whatever. That is going to be a very interesting take. Very, very interesting take, because Microsoft has forced Windows 7 users to Windows 10. And that was the biggest controversy of Microsoft's history, forcing people because they want everybody on the same ecosystem. I understand the logistics or the cost behind of maintaining multiple operating systems. Well, it's not hard to beat that logic. But there's been a number of things that I was hoping that Windows 11, and I haven't had a chance to try Windows 11 because obviously I'm having some hardware limitations, hardware and virtual machine limitations at the moment. I'm going to be doing some more videos talking about some Let's Talk videos, or some ideas I have in the thing talking about why we haven't doing any tutorial videos. But that decides the point. But Windows 11 is just a copy and paste of Windows 10. There's just and I have seen someone actually post a YouTube video, and they said, "What's with the rounded corners?" They're just trying to give it some sort of sex appeal. They're trying to give it like here's a new operating system. We'll give you some rounded corners. We move the taskbar to the center. We'll give you a different type of looking start menu, moving the task items into the center. And it said, here's a new operating system. Here's another $300. Thank you. But hang on a second. I see where they're going with it, because they wanted, I don't know how and what, but they wanted to actually integrate Android because they want to get ahead of Google. Because I was watching a video that they want to get ahead because they wanted to bring a bigger ecosystem, a better ecosystem. So for example, where I think it was the Chromebook they used example of, I cannot verify this though, is that you can get Android apps. So I can go and play a game on a tab. So you can play games on your games on your phone or tablet, but you can also bring them into your operating system, which Microsoft is trying to do with Android apps. iOS apps, they are, God knows what's happening with them, because lawsuits here and people getting pissed off with their Apple's policies and stuff like that. But that being said, but Windows 11, but what this person said in the video is said, it's all and good to just give us a nice little facelift, but fix the crap that's wrong with it. You haven't even fixed Windows 10. I think there was something bugging me with Windows. I think it was something, I don't know if it's a Windows 10 or something. I think it's just a recent update, I think, where if I have two screens, and I think it's probably to do with notepads. I think it was notepads. Then again, they'll probably laugh at me and say, using an old proprietary notepad. What happens is that I couldn't see it because it's on the other screen. Bugs like that. I don't know if it's a bug or should bring everything to a single, the main screen, or if you disconnect the screen, everything should just flop over to each instead of being on an extended screen. But I think what really annoys me is, I think it's HDMI. Yes. I think, because I used to plug my laptop in and stream Netflix off that onto the TV. And I think the audio and visual gets a bit janky. Yes, it gets a bit janky. And yeah, and it's like I have to reboot the computer to get out of it, and it's the HDMI needs to pick up the audio, things like that. They're just the little nuances where the sound card can't pick up the actual HDMI device for input and output display, or input and output. And I bet there's dozens and dozens of these little annoying nuances that Microsoft doesn't even bother to fix. So I said this will be a very short episodes today. So thank you for watching. Well, thank you for listening to this episode. If you have not become a Patreon, I highly encourage you to become a Patreon. It helps us out a lot. Every dollar counts. But you can also get early access to this right after this, or maybe when I come back. Get early access to this podcast, and if you want to listen to some previous podcasts, we have them archived on YouTube and now Spotify. I think I probably said that in the last episode, and I'm expanding those things. But I think it's about time to conclude this episode. Whether I will be back the 1st of next month, I'm not really sure, because I'm finding it a bit. Sometimes I'm finding it harder to find content for the show. I'm trying to balance it. Whether I do it, so far I've been doing it like so far I did 2 months in a row. Whether I should be do it every 2 months, I'm not really sure. But let us know in the comments. And yes, thank you for listening to the show, and we'll see you next time.